Countless surgeries and swing coaches later, not even Vegas had money to see the Big Cat ever win again. And now, he's the favorite to win the Masters. Tiger Woods is the reason so many of the guys who now beat him on tour even started playing the game of golf. He expanded and grew the sport that many people brushed aside as boring. The cool thing about Sunday's round at the Tour Championships is that Tiger created this. He sparked a fandom in most of these people during the prime of his career, and now in 2018, he gets to live the fruits of his labor. This transcends sport. It's what it's all about. We say Tiger's back, but by the looks of this crowd and the imprint he left on the sport, it's like he never left. As it stands now, the Florida basketball team will not be in the NCAA tournament. Their best win is at home against Butler, who, by the way, is not ranked. Hey, plenty of good losses, though. What's been weird about this season for Florida is that the losses, they've all been predicted. No, not by you or me watching from the stands or the couch. Instead, by the guy that you know is supposed to prevent said losses.
Came on said that a couple bad practices before this game, he thought. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
That, no idea.
We weren't very good in shoot-around this morning. Didn't make any shots.
You feel like you're dragging these guys a little bit?
Didn't get better this week. South Carolina out-prepared us.
And that's not a sign of a great team.
We didn't have a lot of maturity this week after coming off the performance we played against Butler.
We know what we're getting from Kavarius, Andrew Nemhard, and Noah Locke every day. Beyond that, it's a crapshoot.
Quote, we didn't get better this week. South Carolina out-prepared us. Isn't that's your job, right? Mike White isn't going anywhere. He has a top 10 recruiting class in 2019, but saying you have to drag a crapshoot of a team around all week before a game sure screams NIT to me. Florida gets Tennessee tomorrow. Maybe by Sunday, their best win at home won't be against Butler, who, by the way, is not ranked. We've spent the last 365 days talking about the national champs. I'm not speaking on Nick Saban in Alabama. I'm talking about a group in Orlando that claims something that they really don't have a stake in. UCF, the self-named national champions, have been flaunting plastic, claiming it's gold. They got their crack at the SEC today. Let's take you to the Fiesta Bowl, where LSU was missing 9 defensive starters in this game by halftime, thanks to ejections and guys just sitting out. A 3-point game in the third quarter. Joe Burrow goes over the top to find Jamar Chase to make it a 2-score game. LSU really should have broken this game open, but mistake after mistake kept the Knights in it. And I'll tell you, I'll give them this. The boys in black and gold, they are resilient. With less than a minute left, they trailed by just 1 score, had a chance to tie the game, but it wasn't to be. LSU wins 40-32. While the score was close, the game was not. 555 yards of offense for LSU, 250 for UCF. LSU settled for 4 field goals, all less than 28 yards. It was fun. It was nice. UCF caught lightning in a bottle for 25 straight games. What they've done is a feat. But college football, it's cyclical. Teams like USF, Rutgers, Houston, Boise State have all made similar runs and then went back to their regular scheduled programming. I don't know what UCF's future holds, but I know without attempting to play an ACC or SEC-like schedule and bringing in a 50th ranked recruiting class every year, it's going to be very tough for their cases to ever hold a real national championship trophy. There's a new term in college football. It starts with a T. It's not targeting. It's transfer portal. To me, I envision this magical hat like Harry Potter college athletes put their name into. Gryffindor. Can't wait. Over the past couple years, many of the biggest names in college football have entered this portal to find a better situation for their futures. Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Jacob Eason, to name a few. But in college athletics, in order to transfer, you have to sit out a year. This is called an academic year in residence. It's designed to allow you to become more comfortable in your new environment. Comfortable in your new environment. You mean how Manny Diaz became comfortable as Temple's head coach for all of 18 days, or Cliff Kingsbury, who went to USC for just a month. I bring those examples up because recruits were committing their next chapter of their lives to those guys, Diaz and Kingsbury, who left without a scratch. I'm not blaming the two coaches for wanting to climb the ladder. They shouldn't be punished for that. But then why in the world are we doing just that to the athletes who don't want to be stalled in their efforts in getting to the top of that same ladder?
That would be Mr. Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots?
Yes, sir.
Y'all need to download our app. It's quick, it's great. I woke up to it this morning, a little alert on my phone in a daze. Patriots owner Robert Kraft charged in a prostitution ring. I need to see someone about these dreams I'm having. Nope, Nope, that dream was real. So what do we know about this? More than 24 have been arrested in this case. Hundreds have been charged. We're going to touch on that big number in a second. This all part of a broad investigation dealing with prostitution and human trafficking at day spas in South Florida. Robert is charged with soliciting a prostitute at one of those spas in Jupiter. The authorities investigating have video, and man, do I pray no one ever has to see that. Here is the statement from a Kraft and Patriots spokesperson. We categorically deny that Mr. Kraft engaged in any illegal activity. Because it is a judicial matter, we will not be commenting further. The NFL's like, look, it's February, we're on vacation, and you do this? Here's their statement. The NFL is aware of the ongoing law enforcement matter and will continue to monitor its developments. So the maximum sentence for these two misdemeanor charges is 60 days per charge. A warrant for Kraft is expected to be issued on Monday. Okay, you have the information. Let's move this story forward because the next part's a little alarming. Multiple reports say that Mr. Kraft may not be the biggest sports name involved in this investigation and that this scandal is just beginning to open up. It's a guessing game of who it is at this point. It's 2019. You can't trip over your shoelace in public without ending up on the internet. And you thought you could walk into an Orchids day spa in Jupiter, Florida and get away with this? Oh boy. The year 2009, Urban Meyer, the head coach at the University of Florida. He hires a grad assistant, Zach Smith, whose grandfather, one of Urban's mentors. Zach is arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant woman, his wife, after throwing her into a wall in Gainesville, Florida. Urban was aware. This is what he said.
Shelley and I actually both got involved because of our relationship with that family and advised for counseling and wanted to help as we move forward.
Urban, Zach's boss, suggested counseling, something that should be used to settle arguments over wall color, not being thrown into a wall. Urban is now on paid leave. If you look at school policy, I don't see any way he coaches at Ohio State ever again. If you look at a moral compass, I don't see any way he coaches anywhere again. Or at 6. Carolyn? Florida football currently has the top recruiting class in the year 2040. That's 21 years from now. This is me guessing what Tim Tebow's procreation schedule looks like. Tebow Jr. Today, Jacksonville's chosen son. Finally. It took you long enough, Timmy. He's engaged. My man could have walked into any bar, restaurant, grocery store, gas station, gotten on a knee and married anyone he wanted. But in Tim Tebow fashion, he's marrying Miss Universe 2017. All right, I'll stop now. Right after I show you the size of the ring. State champion, national champion, Heisman winner, playoff winner, baseball player. This might be his greatest accomplishment of all time. That thing is a boulder. The motor that makes that offense go. Tyreek Hill, who plays all over the field, can take the top off at any time. That motor was also running a little from his mouth this week when he was talking about Jalen Ramsey. The two probably will be going head-to-head at some point on Sunday. And if you thought Jalen was going to go silent into that good night, boy, are you wrong.
He's all right, I guess.
He's good for what he does for their team.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, nor do I claim to be one, but I do watch a lot of football. And what I saw out of the Jaguars on Sunday against the Redskins was a team who I thought could have pulled out a win. It looks like this Jags team is starting to move to 2019, and I'm not talking about the players, I'm talking about management. And I can't say I really blame them. Did you just say the players are tanking? No, I did not. I fully believe the guys who are on the field want to compete and want to win.
It's all about winning at the end of the day. I love football, man. Honestly, I truly love football.
It's tough, but at the same time, you're playing for your brother next to you.
But you're telling me, in a close game, crunch time, the best offensive weapon this team has, Leonard Fournette, got one touch in the third quarter?
No.
You feel like you touched the ball enough down the stretch?
Yeah. Man, I don't control offense. I do what I do.
An offense that has scored one offensive touchdown in 3 weeks under Cody Kessler has decided to go ahead and trot him back out there this week.
Those seem like moves looking to 2019 as opposed to being in 2018. Would you agree with that? And if not, why?
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that because we think those players have worked extremely hard and they're good enough and we're not losing much with them.
At this point, Doug Marrone's job probably isn't in danger because if it was, we'd be seeing more Blake and more Leonard. As it stands now, the Jags do have a top 5 pick. Unless something changes, they'll have an opportunity to go after a franchise quarterback.
I'm more worried about making sure everybody moves this program in the right direction.